Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And nobody's better than Ezra.
Nope.
Nobody's better than Ezra. According to the director of The Flash, they will not replace Ezra Miller if there is a sequel to the movie.
Which is probably a really dumb thing to say leading up to the movie release that is looking like it's not going to do very well. And they're trying to pull out spoilers to bring in the audience. And I think a lot of it's because people don't want to support Miller.
Yeah, so let's talk about this because The Flash apparently now I don't know how it's going to do. Originally, it was tracking for a massive opening, which we attributed to people getting excited about Michael Keaton coming back as Batman, spoiler, and another big cameo which got spoiled, which we won't spoil here. But I'm like, oh damn, that's very tempting. That is very tempting to go see it for that. But they dropped it from 140 million projected to 70 million projected, which puts it about on par with Black Adam. Not good.
And that's with announcements of spoilers of characters people wanted or actors people wanted.
Right, and with I think it was a $17 million Super Bowl ad and all the other marketing for that. Like, they have just sunk money. I mean, you want to talk about throwing good money after bad. And look, the people that have seen it, and we actually had one of our writers saw it and said it was good. But the people that have seen it said the movie actually is good. It actually is a good movie. It's not the best thing ever, but it's not a train wreck by any stretch of the imagination.
But people, I think there's a reason. I think there's two reasons why people aren't going to go see it. Miller being one of the reasons. And I think the general public just doesn't care about DC movies anymore. And why bother? You're resetting everything.
You're going to reboot it all anyway. Nothing matters.
Except for Miller, who gets to stay. If there is a second movie, he gets to stay. They get to stay no matter what.
There are two of them in this movie. So yes, that's correct in this case. So we're going to talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You'll get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
All right, so this is coming from Playlist. They did a podcast with, I think it's Andy Muschietti and his wife. I think his wife too. Now he's the director of it. He's also the director of The Flash, obviously. And here's what he had to say in the podcast. Said if a sequel happens, Andy said about Miller returning for another Flash film. I don't think there's anyone that can play the character. The other depictions of the character are great, but this particular vision of the character, they just excelled in doing it. I would argue this particular version of Barry Allen is unlike any version of Barry Allen ever shown. Ever. It's just not Barry Allen, but whatever. As you said, the two Barrys, it feels like a character that was made for them because there are two Ezra Millers. Barbara said, in principal photography, Ezra was brilliant and the most committed and most professional actor.
That's damage control.
Ezra, are you sure she didn't mean Ezra was committed or should be committed?
Oh, no.
Ezra gave everything for the role, physically, creatively, emotionally. They were absolutely supreme. Supreme!
But that for your acting. But apparently they're a shitty person.
Yeah, so everybody's kind of bringing this up too. Now, here's the thing. I don't know how many normal people know the details of Ezra Miller. Like,
that's true, too.
I mean, that's the thing, too. Like, Ezra Miller's not exactly Johnny Depp, not like a household name. I don't know if it really has any bearing or if it's just a case of like, oh, it's a DC movie. Yeah, I don't really care. I just don't care. This is like more Batman versus Superman. Yeah, I don't really care. Aren't they rebooting these?
Yeah.
Why is there a Flash movie? Actually, what most normal people, casuals, are probably thinking, why is there a Flash movie with a different Flash than the TV show?
Yeah, but then again, a lot of times you have a TV show being different actors in the movies.
Yeah, and he was on there too. They were. Was he a he then? I don't know. Ezra was on the show doing the multiverse thing back then, and that's one thing that always I hated about DC. Was the one thing I will give Marvel props for, even if I disagree with some of the movies and stuff, is at least they're keeping it consistent. Like the movie timeline is the Disney Plus show timeline. They're the same versions of the character. DC's like, yeah, let's put up like 3 different Batman shows at the same time and they all take place in different universes and whatever.
Yeah.
And then we're going to put a movie out there too with a different Batman. Whatever. We're gonna have multiple movies with different. We're gonna have the Batman, and then we're gonna have Michael Keaton's Batman and Ben Affleck's Batman. They're all gonna be movies within like a year or two of each other, and then we're got another Batman movie coming out with Damian Wayne in it. Like, what the hell?
I know,
Like,
right?
there's no reason or rhyme to any of it. It's like, you know, it's like it used to be a thing. Like, oh my God, it's a big deal that somebody who played this character is stepping down. Somebody else is taking over for this character. Now it's like a multiverse of bullshit. It just is. That's Ezra Miller's life.
Multiverse of bullshit.
Ezra Miller in the multiverse of bullshit.
I just think it's dumb because they know that. Okay, Grant, like I said, Miller is a problem, but a lot of people don't know about it, or they don't.
Right.
They're mostly just turned off from the DC movies. But Miller is a problem.
Yeah,
and they could win people back if they would say, "Okay, Miller's not getting another film," but they just did the opposite. I'm like, wow.
Again, this is if big, massive if.
I know, but I'm just saying.
I'm just sitting here thinking, like, I can just see somebody being like, "Oh, that Ezra Miller. I saw those clips online. That's some funny shit. I want to go see this crazy sumbitch in the movie and go see if he says something stupid."
It might.
What a crazy sumbitch.
Is that a gender neutral term?
Yeah, crazy a sumbitch. Yeah, compared to just a regular bitch. Yes, a sumbitch. Yes, not son. No, some bitch. It could be son, daughter, other thing. Spawn of.
Okay.
Yes, there you go.
Glad you clarified.
Spawn of the bitch.
All right.
Oh, that'd be a good movie title, wouldn't it?
No.
Spawn of the bitch. I think that was probably like a 90s comic book. I love how they started this on Mashable. They have to remind you of what an awful person Ezra Miller is. And then the very first paragraph, if you've experienced sexual abuse, if Ezra Miller has touched you, call the free confidential National Sexual Assault Hotline. This is like the J.K. Rowling disclaimer.
That's what it was like. That's what I was thinking. It's like the J.K. Rowling thing with Hogwarts Legacy.
So every time we mention Ezra Miller, we got to have a disclaimer. Have you been diddled by Ezra? Have you been choked by Ezra? Yeah. And then J.K. Rowling, it's like, you know, if you actually like trans people, you should give some money to this organization, especially if you buy Hogwarts Legacy, just to offset the shitty thing you just did.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God. So yeah, again, a lot of this depends on whether or not this movie does.
That's basically my face when I read the article.
You know,
and I was like, wait, you just did that? You just said that? And it was like, wow.
But everybody's saying now that, you know, originally the movie was going to do 120 to 140 million. It was going to be this massive hit, which I actually wasn't surprised. Because I was like, you know, they spent a lot of money on marketing, and it does have Michael Keaton Batman. And let's remember that, like, people that weren't alive back then or don't remember what it was like when I was a kid. Like, Batmania was a thing. It was a huge thing. Everybody was, all of a sudden, they were into Batman.
Yeah.
You know, people that never picked up a comic book ever were suddenly into Batman. Everybody had Batman pins and Batman t-shirts. Everybody had a Batman t-shirt, and it was huge. It was absolutely massive. So to see Michael Keaton come back, it was kind of like, yeah, I could totally see people, you know, going just for that hit of nostalgia. But they're saying now it's going to do $70 million.
That's like half of what they were saying initially.
Yeah. So according to the Hollywood Reporter, it aims to hit 70 million in domestic opening. Box Office Insiders say that's a soft number for a movie that's been heavily promoted by Warner Brothers as the best superhero film of all time. I've heard it's good, but nowhere near the best superhero movie of all time. Others note that movies' hold once it opens is more important than the opening weekend. The Flash cost $220 million. There's speculation that the number is much higher thanks to delays, development costs, going back to 2015 in the Flash movie marketing, which puts it closer to 300 million.
Okay, so it's a 300 million. We'll say 300 million for argument's sake. 300 million doubled, 600 million. It'll probably add a little more in there for marketing. It's probably got to do 700 considered to be doing okay.
Yeah, I don't see that happening if it opens that soft, but who the hell knows? You know, I mean, really, who knows at this point? But, you know, there it is, guys. So if there is another movie, there's going to be more Ezra.
Mm-hmm. That way to reward bad behavior.
Yeah, right.
And the kicker is, it's not like just one side or the other. You know, all these pop culture war sides or whatever. Yeah. Are, you know, want Ezra, and the other side doesn't, or, you know, they both sides are like Ezra Miller's disaster. Mm-hmm. You know, no. You know, everybody's united.
So now the question is, will you go see The Flash and give Warner Brothers money to give Ezra Miller potentially more money or not? I'm so
I'm so mad. We shouldn't be in this position because they would say, "Hey, we're not doing anything else with Miller after this." I'd be like, "Okay, I feel much better going to see it." But now knowing that if it does well, they're going to give Ezra another film and put him back in. Sorry, them back in as the Flash. I'm like, well, I don't know if I want to go now because I don't want to reward bad behavior. I don't know.
I want to see Michael Keaton, but I don't know if I want to see Michael Keaton that bad. And the other cameo I'm actually really curious about, but that's not enough to make me plunk down the money yet. I don't know. Or if I do, it's not going to be opening weekend, right? So we'll see. We're going to wrap this one up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye. Sorry, I yelled loudly.
That's okay. I got the limiter on.
Okay. So
You can tell my
kick setting.
Yeah, you can
Wait,
tell.
really? It automatically limits it when I yell?
It does. When the pitch gets too high, it does. Sometimes if you sound like all robotic, it's because it's bringing the decibels down.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Help support the channel. Go to thereef.support and get early access to podcasts, videos, and other content. That's thereef.support.